Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. This is the Mental Breakdown. I'm your host, Joey Velez. Happy Sunday. Hope you're using this day to not just relax a little bit, after a long work week, but also maybe using this day to kind of get yourself set up for the upcoming week. I know we have a holiday tomorrow, shout out MLK, but we can still use this day to kind of set ourselves up for a good strong week. Um, One thing I'm grateful for that I want to talk about is sports. And I say that for multiple reasons. So I think one, this is a great chance to connect with others. Whether you're talking about a game you just saw, or for instance, I went golfing with a buddy yesterday and the round wasn't that good. However, just being out there and talking with him and when we did have those one or two good shots, the amount of joy we both received from that, I think is always a fun experience. But then also, I think with the NFL playoffs right now, especially for me, I think this is a chance to see high level performance in a playoff setting in a more high pressure situation. And I think the unique part about that too is that records, stats, regular season, all that stuff goes out the window. If you don't bring it this one day, then the season's over. So you have to come with your best self, whatever that might be. And then even last night we saw an upset in the NFL. The Commanders over beating the Lions last night. So I think it's always a fun and interesting time when you get to see performances like that, because then the excitement is at a different level and also the disappointment's at a different level too. But one thing I wanted to talk about today, and I read this in the current book I'm reading, Atomic Habits by James Clear, but he said, if successful and unsuccessful people share the same goals, then the goal cannot be what is different from the winners and the losers. And I think that makes a lot of sense. When you're heading into performance, whatever that is, nobody has the goal of losing. Most people head into performance wanting to win, wanting to do their best. So if that's the case, then the goal can't be what differentiates high level performance from just your average performance. And I think that's where he talks about the importance of not just your process, but the habits you create. And within the realm of creating good habits or maintaining those effective habits that you have, there's oftentimes two challenges that come with that. One is that you don't see immediate results. If you want to get in shape, you go to the gym 3 days in a row, you're probably not going to see a difference. You're probably still going to be out of shape. Um, if you are trying to learn a new language and you hit your Duolingo for an hour and you're still not fluent, you're not seeing those immediate results, so people are more likely to quit and move on to the next thing. But it's not just about not being able to see the immediate result. It's about we oftentimes change the wrong thing. We try to change the outcome as opposed to changing, the label that comes with whatever that habit is, right? So for example, if I'm trying to quit smoking, or if I'm a smoker and I tell myself, no thanks, I'm trying to quit, I am trying to change the outcome versus saying something like, no thanks, I am not a smoker, right? Now you're changing the label that comes with the action of smoking a cigarette. So it's not to say that outcomes aren't important. They absolutely are. But if we want to achieve the things we want to achieve, we have to start at the baseline level, which is not just the process, but also, our identity. So I think that's the first thing you want to do is you want to identify what is the outcome I want? Because again, that is still important. We want to have some sort of goal, some sort of direction that we can see that we're building towards. But then you also want to go one step further and now identify the process. What are those steps I need to do day in and day out in order to achieve that specific outcome? But then again, you have to go one step further. Okay, what sort of person do I want to be? What sort of person do I need to be in order to make sure this process happens? If I have the goal, if I'm, don't tell yourself, I'm making the bed every morning because I want a clean bed. Instead, think of it as I'm making the bed because I want to be an organized person, right? Change the narrative on why you're doing what you're doing, and you're going to see that not just it helps you develop new, more effective habits, but I think it's also going to help you maintain those habits more long term, right? Goals are not an easy thing to achieve, right? They're challenging for a reason. When we don't achieve them, that's why they hurt so much, is because it's something we really want. So goals aren't always an easy thing to accomplish. And same thing with creating habits or breaking bad habits. It's also not an easy process. However, just because you don't see those results right away doesn't mean what you're doing isn't working, right? So what you need to do is not just identify the process you need to take, but you also need to identify, okay, who do I need to be to make sure I achieve these goals? Maybe that comes with writing down reminders, placing your goal on your bathroom mirror, placing, the steps A, B, and C you need to do each and every day to make sure you get one step closer to that goal, but also maybe even having those words or phrases that tell you, hey, here's who I need to be to make sure I get these things done. Right. So identifying who you are and who you need to be to make these changes is just as important as identifying what the goal is. And that's what I got for you all today. Okay, so not just like how do we go about achieving our own goals, but how do we go about identifying what do I need to do to make those changes. So let me know what you think. Again, happy Sunday. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube, not TikTok anymore because that's not a thing. I don't think. I don't know. But like, have a good rest of y'all's day. Don't forget that today is always a great day to make an impact on somebody. All right, y'all. Have a good one.